First, we are going to see the concept of seer and the seen. Then we are going to touch upon Jnana Yoga. Jnana Yoga is founded on the principle that says that ignorance causes error. Then we are going to understand the 4 levels of the consciousness, Waker, Dreamer, Sleeper, and Turiya. And then we are going to understand where this pure consciousness is. Right? So this is how we are going to understand who am I. So the first is seer and seen. Right? So there are 4 pictures on the screen. So the first picture is the objects. Second picture is of eyes. The third picture is of mind. And the fourth picture is infinity, which is basically pure consciousness because it is infinite, all pervading. So the infinity symbol has been used to denote pure consciousness. So these are the 4 levels of existence is what I'm going to explain you through the concept of seer and seen. What is seer? Seer is who sees. Seer, who sees. What is seen? The seen is what seer sees, is seen. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just explain you with a very simple, and I'm going to establish some principles. Once you agree on these particular principles, and once you show me the thumb, and I'm going to see this now. So participants, okay. So once I explain you and I tell you the principle, you have to show me the thumb that yes, you agree with the principle. I'm not going to tell any intellectual thing which is very difficult for you to understand, right? It is not a question of debate. I'm going to tell you whether 1 + 1 is equal to 2. You will say yes, 1 + 1 is equal to 2. It can be 11 with a teamwork and all that, but right now we are not going into that unobjective or the subjective things. We are going to talk objectively in this particular session, in this particular topic on seer and seen. So I'm going to convey some principles and you will show me your thumb that is yes, you agree with that particular principle. And I promise you, I will not tell any subjective principle which is debatable in nature. Okay. So I will explain the seer and seen concept with my eyes and objectives around. Now, my eyes are the seer, right? Eyes is one set, or eyes is one entity through which I see. Right? So my eyes are seer. What is my water bottle, my speaker, my CPU, my printer, and the entire room? So there are many objects around me which are being seen by my eyes, which is a seer. So I will give you first principle. The seer is one, my set of eyes is one, and seen are many. This is my first principle. So you agree with this particular principle with reference to the example of my eyes and the objects around me, that my eyes are one set, one entity, but there are many objects around me, right? So do you agree? The very simple principle, the seer is one and the seen. Why? And seer has to be one because the seer is a person or an entity which is seeing. So that entity is one, but that entity can see many things. So the seen are many is the principle number 1. Now again, a common sensical principle I am going to convey, that seer and seen are different from each other. My eyes are different from my computer screen. Common sense, you agree? That seer and seen, the entity which sees and the entity which is being seen are 2 different entities. Agree? The seer and the seen are always different from each other. You agree? Anjali, you don't agree? Anjali, Raju, Ramya, you don't agree? Okay, Anjali agrees. Raju, agree. Savita, you don't agree? Savita, Suruchi?
Agreed, sir.
Yeah. So please show thumbs, right?
Agreed, sir. I had shown thumb. Probably it disappeared.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks. Okay. So everyone agrees that the seer, the entity which sees, and the entities which are seen are different from each other. Now, the third principle, again, I'm going to use the same example of my eyes, which is the most simple example, and the objects around me. So my eyes are representatives of an entity called a seer, and all the objects around me are representative of the entity called as seen, right? So the third principle is the seer is always inside, the seen are outside. So the seer, because the seer, right? The seer is an entity, means that entity is inside, means my eyes are inside me. I am the seer, which is inside, and the seen are outside. So agree? The seer is inside and the seen is outside because I am seeing it, right? So I am seeing it means it has to be outside. My eyes can't see my eyes. So if I am seeing something, that means it is outside than me. Okay? Agree? So my principle is seer is always inside and the seen is outside. That is why I am in a position to see it, right? I can't see my own eyes, right? But my eyes which are within me can see outside things is the principle. Now, and see all these principles, you can't go back on these particular principles, right? Because I'm going to prove some equation with these particular principles. And these are very simple. There is no trick. I'm not talking about any trick. I'm talking very plain, simple, objective things. Now, can I say that the seer, my eyes, are more sentient than the objects around me? Sentient means prana shakti, jiva. So my eyes have more prana shakti, more sentiency than the objects around me, computer, light, water bottle, comparatively. Why? Because there can be some other living being also. But as far as my sentience is concerned, my understanding, my knowledge is concerned, my sense about myself is concerned, the seer is more sensuous than the seen things. Agree? The seer has to be more sensuous. Why? That is the reason the person is the seer or the entity is the seer. The entity is in a position to see others, comprehend others, means that entity has more sentiency than the objects around that entity. Agree? So my statement is the seer is more sentient, not the only sentient. There can be sentient thing around that particular person, but in comparison to them, the seer is more sentient. The seer is more sentient. You agree? Okay. Now again, a very common essential principle I will establish. Neither the seer nor the seen can see itself. My eyes cannot see itself, and any object cannot see itself. Someone has to see that particular object, right? So the principle is neither the seer nor the seen can see itself. This is the principle. Agree with this principle? My eyes cannot see my eyes. I can only go to the mirror and see the reflection, but they are not the real eyes. So eyes cannot see eyes, and the objects also cannot see themselves. Only my eyes can see the object. The camera can see the object. Another object can see them. So neither the seer nor the seen can see itself. Again, the last commonsensical principle I will talk in with the example of the eyes and the object is the same thing cannot be the seer and seen at the same time. The same thing cannot be the seer and seen at the same time. So my eyes are different, objects are different. So in this particular point in time, right, my eyes cannot be the object because I am seeing the object through my eyes. So the same thing cannot be both seer and seen at the same time. Either my eyes are seer or they can be seen. How? when the condition will change. When the condition will change, okay, so you agree to this particular principle when I explain you the next step. Now, my eyes are seer, fantastic, which is right. But who is seeing through my eyes? Who is controlling my eyes? Who is the real boss? My mind. My mind is using my eyes to see. So, in level 2, for my mind who is a seer, my eyes are seen. For my mind, eyes are the object. Eyes are not seeing for the sake of eyes. Eyes is a sense which mind is asking eyes to see, and we see the things what mind allows us to see through our own filters. So, let us see the principles. My mind is one. But the scene, the eyes are many. Why eyes are many? Because eyes have many conditions. For the mind, eyes are not only one. Eyes will change. Condition number 1. Condition number 2. My mind and eyes are separate from each other. You can't say that the mind is into eyes and eyes are in the mind. No, no, no. Eyes are different, mind is different. Condition number 2. Means I may not go into the same sequence of the conditions, but just remember earlier agreed conditions and we will apply those conditions to the eyes and the mind. Okay, so I will just mute. Just one second.
Hemant, can you explain the condition 1 again, please?
The seer is one, that is the mind is one, the seen are many, right? So the eyes for the mind is not only one. Why it is not only one? Because the definition of the one thing means it is unchangeable, right? So means, for example, there is a one truth. One truth means the truth will not change. So for the mind, eyes are changing, right? So the eyes are aging, then you are putting your glasses on them. So for the mind, from the perspective of the mind, eyes are changing. So from the perspective of the mind, eyes have many shades. They change. So the condition, the first condition applies in this particular principle in this way. When you say the many, means the ultimate truth is one. So are the eyes always the same? No, eyes keep changing. So for the mind, eyes have many shades. So many means you don't have to only count. There are many shades of the eyes for the mind. So this is the first condition. The second condition, is my eyes and mind different? Of course, my eyes are different and my mind is different. Next condition, my mind is inside comparatively. My mind is inside, but my eyes are outside. The scene is outside. Because now my inside mind is seeing my outside eyes. Earlier, in the first level, the eyes were inside and the objects were outside. But with reference to the mind, my mind is inside compared to the eyes which are outside. So the next condition. Who is more sensuous? Again, this is all comparative. So the level 1 is a comparison between the two. Level 2 is a comparison between two. Level 3 is also comparison between the two, right? So in case of the comparison between the mind and eyes, who is more sensuous? Mind is more sensuous. Mind has more knowledge. Mind has more prana. Mind has more intellect, right? Mind has more sense than the eyes. So this condition is also all right between this level. What is another condition? The seer and seen cannot see themselves itself. Can my eyes see itself? No. Can my mind see itself? No. You think that you are introspecting, but who is introspecting? We will come to that particular level in the third level between the mind and pure consciousness. Now, again, the last condition was the same thing cannot be the seer and seen at the same time. Yes, of course. Right now, When my mind is seeing through the eyes, my mind is different and my eyes are different. So the same thing is not the seer and seen at the same time, right? So right now, my mind is seen, I'm thinking, I'm seeing this particular computer screen, I'm applying my mind, right? I want my eyes to see only my presentation, and I don't want my eyes to see some other things. So my mind is seeing through my eyes, my mind is controlling my eyes. So my mind is different, my eyes are different. So what we are doing, we are establishing a relationship of seer and seen between the mind and eyes. And you all know, right? You all know it is not the senses what gives you the 100% facts. It is your mind which filters the inputs given by the senses and gives that particular input to your brain. And that is what you understand. It is not the real fact. Real fact is a wrong English, right? It is not the fact what is being sensed. It is the filtered fact what mind manages. So it is the mind which filters. So the senses are controlled by mind, right? So there are many filters, right? So you will delete some information, you will distort some information, you will generalize some information. Who is doing it? Mind is doing it, right? So the mind is a boss in the level number 2. In level number 1, eyes were the boss. In level number 2, now the mind has become boss. Now, what is this mind? Is this mind only one? I doubt so. Mind is continuously changing. Mind is not the only one reality. Mind is continuously evolving, continuously changing. So the consciousness which is seeing the mind, consciousness is seeing so many thoughts in the mind, so many colors in the mind, so many shades of the mind, infinite shades of the mind. So for the consciousness, the sakshi, the witness, seeing the mind, he sees, oh my God, what a infinite color butterfly. Every time looks different, never the same. So the first condition, the seer, which is a sakshi, the witness, the pure consciousness is one. But from the perspective of that pure consciousness, from the relationship between the pure consciousness and the mind, there are many minds what you have. It is not a single mind. It is ever-changing mind. Is the mind and the consciousness different? Of course it is different. Consciousness is like a power, electricity power given, without which how the mind will function, right? So the mind is controlled by the pure consciousness, controlled by the consciousness, which says that the consciousness and the mind are different. Why the consciousness and the mind are different? Because the mind is not the one reality. Mind is continuously changing. So the continuously changing thing can be the ultimate reality. So the ultimate reality is the sakshi which is observing the mind and the sakshi which is seeing the mind. So the seer is the consciousness and the seen is the mind. Compared to the consciousness, pure consciousness, which is inside, which is all pervading. So it is inside everything. It is inside you. It is inside this space. It is inside this universe. Mind is outside. Why? Because it is in a position to observe the mind. The consciousness is in a position to see through the mind. So compared to the consciousness, mind is outside. The consciousness is the core. Is consciousness more sentient than the mind? Of course. It is the real consciousness which has the ultimate sentiency as compared to the mind. Mind can go to sleep. Mind can become still. In the deep sleep, you don't feel your mind in deep sleep. But the consciousness is always there, always sentient. Neither the consciousness nor the mind can see itself. Mind requires consciousness to see it. Mind requires electric power to see it. And the last principle, what we have already agreed between the level 1 and level 2, the same thing cannot be seer and seen. If the mind is being seen, who is seeing the mind? See, for example, right now I am thinking and I'm observing my mind. Okay, what is going in my mind? Okay, whether the students are understanding what is happening, are they alert, right? How I am going to manage the time. So all these things are going in my mind. Who is observing it? Mind cannot observe itself, like eyes cannot see itself, mind cannot see itself. That principle we have already established logically, right? So that means if I am in a position to observe my mind, I am seeing so many shades and so many thoughts of my mind. I know that mind is continuously changing. I know that few years back I was a different mind and right now I am a different mind. So who is that Sakshi? Who is the observer? Of course, the observer is different and mind is different. So the same thing cannot be the mind and the observer. Right? This is how we are establishing this particular relationship. So how we have established the relationship? The seer is one. Now I am only talking about the pure consciousness in this level because the objects and the eyes is too simple example which you have already understood. Now I will talk to the pure consciousness. The pure consciousness, the Sakshi, the ultimate truth is only one. But the seen are many. The pure consciousness is seeing everything through the mind. What is the apparatus or object pure consciousness is using to see? It is the mind. For pure consciousness, mind has many shades. Pure consciousness and mind are separate, of course. The same thing cannot be seen and seer at the same time. The principle has been established. So with that principle, I say that pure consciousness is different and the mind is different from each other. The mind keeps changing, but the observer does not change. When I was a child, the observer was same, mind was different. When I was at the age 35, the observer was the same. My mind was different. Right now, the observer is same. Observer is not changing. Observer has remained same, but my mind is changing. My conditions are changing, right? So my mind keeps changing, but my observer, inside observer, does not change. My consciousness is more sentient than even my mind. Relatively, the sentiency of my consciousness, because it is the consciousness which gives sense to the mind in the first place. So it has to be more sensuous. There's no doubt. Neither the mind nor the consciousness can see itself. Consciousness sees through the mind. It is using the mind to see. Mind is using eyes to see. Right? And the same thing cannot be the seer and seen at the same time. So the mind cannot be the observer or the Sakshi at the same time. So there is some mind that we are calling it as a pure consciousness. So what is the logical process we have adopted? The seen, right? The objects at the first level were the seen and the eyes were the seer. In the second level, so this was the first level. In the second level, eyes become the seen and the mind become the seer, that is the knower. In the third level, mind has become the seen and the inner witness has become the seer, which is seeing through the mind. So what is the truth? That the inner witness, the consciousness, the pure consciousness is the ultimate seer, only one seer. And it is never the seen, because pure consciousness cannot see itself. The seer cannot see itself. The seen cannot see itself. So the Sakshi, the ultimate seer, right? Sees without any external help, but it uses mind as a apparatus.